Many of us have been working in hybrid teams, and I think hybrid teams are here to stay. Teams where, some of us are physically together, but some of us are remote. I want to share a few new ways you can reset your communication and collaboration if you're working in a hybrid team. So first off, I think hybrid meetings are just the worst of both worlds. You've got some folks in the little squares on the Zoom call and some together in a room. And if you're on the Zoom call, you're listening to people in the room shuffling their papers or munching their lunch, or worse, you can hear them whispering and you can kind of tell that they're saying something. And then you hear the, and you think, are they talking about me? It's awful. But it's interesting because I've even had folks who are together in the room wonder what people who are on the video are putting in the chat and if they're gossiping similarly about them. So one of the things that can really help is if you are in a hybrid situation and you have the technology, try and have the people who are together in the room each have their own device with which they can join the meeting. So whether that's a tablet or their own laptop, but something so that everybody still gets their own square in the conversation. They can share their audio because it doesn't work if they all have their audio on. The feedback is, But if they each use the shared phone, but then have a video, they can also see the chat. It's a much better dynamic. So that's one thing you can do. The next thing, I have heard so many debates about camera on, camera off, camera on, camera off. And there are certainly people who hate having their camera on video calls, and others, particularly bosses, who kind of insist on it. Well, it turns out that you want to have camera on or camera off depend on the work you're doing. Go figure. So when it's work where you're co-creating something, where you're trying to innovate or build some kind of a new document or make sure the quality is good, all those sorts of things, it's actually, the research suggests, better to turn off your cameras. So a bunch of your processing power of your brain, because we're such social creatures, is going into, I can't see my boss's face. Is she happy? Is she unhappy? Does she like that? And there's so much energy going to try to decode the facial expressions in these tiny low fidelity boxes that less attention and energy is going to the actual work product. So if you're in that situation where you're working on something together, I really encourage you to turn off the cameras, have someone share their screen and type into the screen, or use a tool like Lucid to have everybody collaborating together at the same time. It's so much better. Save the camera on for times when you want to really connect, or when it's about your relationship, that sort of thing benefits from cameras on. But while we're talking about cameras off, here's a third tip. It turns out that when we want to have really good empathy, a really strong connection with somebody else, we're better without the Zoom call at all. We're better on the phone. Interesting new research shows that our empathic accuracy, our ability to understand what's going on for someone else and to really be able to kind of get into their experience, better when we're on the phone. I love this idea. And what I'm encouraging my clients to do is to set up one-on-one conversations on the phone. Stick in your earbuds, go for a walk. It's a great time for both of you to get some fresh air. If you say, okay, let's do a walking meeting. I'll be in my city, you'll be in yours. We'll put on our headphones. But that phone connection, and I think it's a little bit like a confessional, when we don't have all the extraneous gesture and body language, when we don't have the intensity of eye contact, that really helps us to hear each other better and connect better. So that's another really useful one. Another thing that I'm super excited about is the idea of communication bursts. Communication bursts are great for your virtual or hybrid team, because what they say is, especially if your team is across different time zones and it's hard to coordinate, what you do is you pick a time. You may want to set these up a couple of times a week, depends on your team and your work, but you may say, for this 2-hour period, everybody's going to be heads down working. There's no meetings. There's no other expectations. We're all going to be making progress on this particular work that we're doing. It's a great time for everybody to be responsive to one another, you know, if you need something from somebody else, you can just ping them and, jump on a quick call for 5 minutes to get what you need. This communication burst allows us to not have to have some of the downsides of asynchronous communication all the time. I'm working with a client in Australia right now, and when I send a message, I often have to wait hours and hours and hours and hours. Then sometimes they respond when I'm already, not working or in bed, and it just takes days to get responses on things, to even set up the next meeting. So in this case, what we do is we just say, okay, for me, 7 p.m. my time is 9 a.m. their time, and that works great. So I am completely happy to, once a month, once every couple of weeks, have that slot from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. where we can say, all right, I'm available if you need anything, if we just want to, review drafts. It's so much better. So there are so many different ways we need to think about our communication and collaboration when we're in virtual and hybrids. Let me give you one last one that I really, really like. So if you think about it, there's 2 dimensions that are really salient in our communication for collaboration. One is how rich the information needs to be. So richness in communication is about how much of the sort of reading between the lines can you do based on the channel of communication you're using. So let's take the example of when we're physically together, we've got everything. We've got the actual words, we've got pitch and tone and facial expressions and gestures and body language and all of it. It's a very rich form of communication. If you go down to the very other end of the spectrum, think about texting with a teenager. There aren't even vowels in the words, and emojis, goodness knows what the emojis mean. So it's a very lean form of communication, lots of room for misinterpretation. So that's one dimension. The second dimension is it synchronous, where we're communicating at the same time, or asynchronous, where I'm sending the message and you can respond on your own pace. So one of the cells in that 2x2 that gets missed is the rich asynchronous communication. Usually when we're communicating asynchronously, it's an email or a Slack message, and it's written, it's text, and that's where it's very lean and there's lots of room for misinterpretation and miscommunication. So we want the benefits of rich communication, but we want to get that in some kind of an asynchronous mode. That's when I just love to do something like screen capture recording. So let's take this scenario. Imagine that you're the person in charge of training new recruits, new hires on your billing system, say. And you might normally say, okay, we'll do a Teams call tomorrow and I'll walk you through, and you share your screen and you've got your voice there to tell them all about, give them the sense of what are the tricky parts of the billing system. You probably sound exasperated about some things and excited about something else. They get a lot of rich information from listening to your voice. But while you're at it, you're sharing your screen, they're learning how to do it. But here's the problem, is when you do that and then you hang up and the person's like, okay, I got it. And then the next day they go to enter something into the billing system and they're like, oh, I don't remember how to do it. And there's so much what's called social friction, so much that makes it hard for that person to call you back and say, could you go through that one more time? So here's a great opportunity for collaboration to be rich, asynchronous. Do that screen capture. Don't have a meeting. Spend the time, get it right to record it. You can even have like a little circle of your face in the bottom with most apps, but you don't need it. In that communication, you're going through, you're showing them how to do things, and then you upload it or send it to them. There's a few good things about this. One is the next person who joins, you don't have to make a new video. You don't need another meeting. So much more efficient, because how many times do you really need to tell the billing system story? But even better for that new person, if something's a little confusing, if they can't find it on their computer, they can pause the video. They can watch it 5 times. They can open it up again 2 months from now when they're doing something for the first time. All of these things reduce the social friction and make it a lot easier. There are so many ways we can reset our communication and collaboration to suit this virtual and hybrid world. Certainly opportunities to turn the cameras off, opportunities to switch to the phone, communication bursts, and of course this rich asynchronous communication. So many things we can do that are going to make our communication more effective. We have been too long defaulting to either, is it a Zoom call or an email? Zoom call, email. There are so many other alternatives that are better for specific purposes. And I'm going to really encourage you to try those. Now, here's a key question. If you have a few precious anchor days where you are physically in the office together, what's the stuff that you want to avoid all of this virtual communication and prioritize for your time when you're physically together? I got answers to that. I got the what's office worthy checklist. Check it out.